Hello, my name is Aiym. I'm UNFPA Honorary Ambassador in Kyrgyzstan. Welcome to our podcast today. We are privileged to have with us today a remarkable guest. Let me introduce you our special guest, Florence Bauer, the Regional Director of UNFPA in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Good evening, dear Florence Bauer. I know that it's your first time here in Kyrgyzstan and you had so many productive meetings. And our first question is, can you share the main objective of your visit to Kyrgyzstan and what you have achieved during this time here?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aiym. It's such a pleasure to meet you. And actually, this is my first visit to Kyrgyzstan. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to meet very diverse people during these 2 days. So I've been meeting with government officials, with parliamentarians, with people who are also working in different areas related to health, related to youth empowerment. I've been meeting young people. It has been wonderful. I've been meeting women. So it has been a very interesting and rich visit. And my objective is to understand how the country has been progressing in some of the areas related to the mandate of UNFPA, and also to understand some of the challenges. And as you know, our work is to promote gender equality, to promote youth empowerment, to promote the access to sexual and reproductive health, and that's just the topics that I've been discussing while I was here.
It's really nice to hear that your trip to Kyrgyzstan was so productive. And let me ask your second question. Kyrgyzstan has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the region. So what strategies is UNFPA implementing to address this issue?
Thank you so much. So indeed, what we can see in Kyrgyzstan and also in other countries of the region is that maternal mortality has been decreasing. So that's a positive trend. But we also know, as we have been highlighting, that maternal mortality is still very high. So we are working together with the government and with other partners to be able to respond to this. And one of the things that we've been developing is telemedicine, because, you know, there are many people who live very far away, and it's difficult for some of the women in the countryside to have access to the health system, and it's difficult also for some of the doctors or health professionals to have access to information on health. So that's why we have been developing telemedicine. So that's a way for a woman who is far away to be in contact with a doctor and to get the advice that they need, and also for a doctor to be in contact with a network of professionals so that they get the information that they need. So that's one thing that we're doing. And the other aspect that also has been surprising me while I've been here is that as we know, we need an interval between births. And we see that in Kyrgyzstan, we have almost 10% of the children that are born less than a year after the previous child was born. Or what I mean is that if you have a woman who has a baby in January, there is a large probability, that 10% I would say, of probabilities that she's going to have another child in December of the same year. And this is very dangerous. It's very dangerous for the health of the mother, so that's also one of the causes for maternal mortality. And it's also very dangerous for the children. So the probability that your child is going to get born with some health issues is higher. So that's why it's so important that women have access to family planning and have access to contraception, so that they can plan when they want to have children, how many children they want to have, and to make sure that there is enough space between each of those children. And at the same time, those are women who are also interested, some of them, if they wish to have a career. So that's why having access to contraception, being able to plan when they're going to have children, enables them to have healthier children, to reduce also the maternal mortality, and also for them to have a career, if they wish so, to be able to contribute to the development of the country.
So the third question is, gender-based violence remains a significant concern globally and especially in Kyrgyzstan. What are UNFPA's key interventions in this area, and how do they align with local needs?
We have countries where we don't have this kind of numbers. So here we know already, we have the evidence and there are protocols in place so that these cases can be reported. Now, what is concerning is that we do see that there are a number of women that are suffering violence. I have been also in contact with services that have been implemented in the country, crisis center, and those are services that are fundamental that UNFPA is supporting in Kyrgyzstan and in other countries, where a woman who has been, who is a survivor of violence can spend some time in a safe environment and receive also, you know, the psychological supports to be able to overcome the trauma. But what is really important is that we continue to work together with different actors in the country and to change social norms. And what I mean by that is that there is an important percentage of people that thinks that the violence against women is acceptable, and we need to change this. And again, it's something we need to work with all people around the world to make it clear that violence is unacceptable. And violence against a woman should never be used under any circumstances for any reason. And that's why it's so important that we continue to work on the prevention of gender-based violence, showing that it's unacceptable, and for those cases that exist, that to make sure that there are protocols in place so that the cases can be reported and that they can be addressed.
Thank you for sharing it with us. And I have the last question. The last question is, what has been the most inspiring part of your visit to Kyrgyzstan so far?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It has been a very inspiring visit, and I would say that the most inspiring part is I met with women, women who are very much engaged and making sure that gender equality is progressing and working on women empowerment. And I've been also meeting with a number of young people, and the young people, it's so fundamental that we listen to what they have to say. And young people need to be able to contribute to public policies because they are the ones who have the knowledge from their experience on what is good for young people. And that's why my biggest conclusion, I would say, from the visit is how important it is to invest in human capital. And investing in human capital means investing in young people so that they have access to education, so that they can develop their skills and knowledge, so that the work environment is prepared to offer jobs for young people. Invest in gender equality. As I said, it's important for women so that they are put in a position where they can have a career if they wish, where they can have the number of children that they want, when they want to have it, and that they have access to health and to reproductive health and family planning. And also, when we look at the demography of the country, like other countries, we have an increasing aging population. Which is a good news because people live longer lives, but we also have to make sure that it's a healthy aging. And that means, again, investing in the older population so that they remain healthy and can contribute. So in this environment, I'm very inspired by the people that I met, and I really see it's extremely important to invest in human capital and to put the people and their rights and the choices at the center of the investment of Kyrgyzstan.
The young population face and experience. I hope that these meetings were productive, and like in these 2 years we will see like more positive changes in Kyrgyzstan and in the world.
And I know that you have produced this wonderful song that is about girl, woman, prevention of violence. And may I ask you if you can tell us a little bit more about the song?
Yes, of course. Вообще задумка этой песни лежала уже очень давно. Мы хотели ее написать около, наверное, 2 лет назад. Этой песне уже больше года, где-то 1,5 года, да, вот 8 марта 2023 года она была выпущена. Именно в тот момент очень много было новостей о том, как девушки, женщины, девочки подвергались насилию. И читая эти новости, с каждым разом становилось очень обидно и очень, как сказать, больно от того, что я осознавала, что я такая же девочка, живущая в Кыргызстане, и мне хотелось как-то помочь другим женщинам или же, не знаю, сделать хоть что-то, чтобы в будущем это как-то повлияло на снижение этой проблемы. Эта песня была посвящена не только девочкам, но также и мужчинам, чтобы дать понять, какого отношения женщины заслуживают в нашей стране, для того, чтобы женщины поддерживали женщин, и дать понять, что это ненормально. Такие вот случаи насилия или еще чего-то, это ненормально, и вы должны знать то, что вас поддержат, дать понять то, что вы достойны намного большего. Я очень хочу, чтобы эту песню услышало как можно больше людей, для того, чтобы, если даже мнение одного человека изменится в другую сторону, для меня это будет очень важно. Вот, спасибо.